Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we're going to take a look at a brand new, unique compressor from Denise Audio called Dragonfire, and it's unique in a couple of ways. First of all, it's got this push-pull graph here, which allows you to shape what frequencies are being compressed more or less, and that pull slider down at the bottom allows you to pull those frequencies out of the final output signal, giving you control over what is being compressed in your signal. You can also shape the exact type of compression you want, from gentle, slightly saturated, softeny compression, all the way to aggressive, hardeny, overdriven gain reduction, all while still having that complete control over which frequencies are affecting the compressor. So very, very versatile compression. We're going to go through all the controls first of all. And the first control that's important is resizable interface. We can see it nice and big here. So let me pull this open. On the left-hand side, we've got our meters. We've got our input, output, and gain reduction meter. The gain reduction is right in the middle, little bar right here. The top bar, when you select one of these dots, a node on the graph, shows the frequency, the gain, the quality or Q, bandwidth, and the type of filtering, low shelf, peak, or high shelf. So if I push this up, those change. I can also change them right in here, sliding the frequency, gain, Q or bandwidth, and what kind of filtering it is. I've also got a solo button. When engaged, just listens to the one frequency band you're trying to adjust, kind of dials in on that frequency range. A random button for random settings, a sidechain which engages an external sidechain if you want this compression triggered by an external source. This drive slider, which we can move around like this, is adaptive saturation. So you get more saturation the more the signal is compressed, much like sort of older tube circuits. And that kind of works in conjunction with the push-pull graph. So frequencies that are driven harder into the compressor are more saturated. So if you had a little bit of low end pushing into that compressor, that's going to saturate more depending on what drive setting you have. The curve slider right here allows you to shape the compression character from slow, opto-style compression, think sort of LA2A slow compression, all the way to faster release VCA style compression, sort of like DBX compression, and anything in between that you'd like, shaping what kind of release character you have. The RMS slider right here goes between peak compression, which is good for punchiness, think SSL bus compression, and RMS compression, kind of like a very more transparent compressor. The knee, which kind of is the shape that the compression kicks in once it passes the threshold, can be hard knee like the DBX style compression, or a soft knee like a Manley, or anything in between. So these three plus the drive are really where you shape the type of compression you want, from opto style compression to more aggressive DBX VCA style compression, all controlled in here, and anything in between that you'd like to try out. We've got pretty standard bottom controls down here: a threshold, a ratio, attack release, a mix slider in the middle, high pass and low pass filters, clipping if we want to clip that output signal, and a gain slider. And this push pull here, this is where it really comes into play. If I push this up, that's driving how much is going into the compressor. And I can leave all that signal back in, all that gray area, or I can pull out as much as I want in that final output signal. So we're going to hear this in action in just a couple of seconds. So first of all, we're going to hear it on a snare drum. That's what I've got it on now. I'm going to bypass the plugin. Here's the snare part by itself. Now I'm going to gauge the plugin. I'm going to try to push that low end into the compressor more. Here it is without. And with, controlling that resonance in the low end. I could dial back the mix if I wanted. And if I put that mix back up at 100%, you can see what the push-pull does. I'm going to bring more of that bottom end signal back into the final output by pulling down the push-pull slider. That's what's being driven into the compressor really loud. So I'm going to bring that back down. Dial a little bit more of that back in. So I'm controlling what frequency is being compressed harder, but I can also bring that frequency in and out if I want to in that final signal, which is fantastic. Really unique style of compression. Next, we're going to try it out on overheads. And this, I just pulled up a preset, overheads-shape. This is the plain overhead part with no compression at all. The plugin's bypassed. and with this plugin engaged. Really punchy there. I'll bring the mix knob back. Again, I'll bypass it off. And back in. Now by itself, it gets really aggressive and kind of punchy sounding, but if you put that in the full drum mix, it'll really help it pop out. Next, we're going to check out Dragonfire on a bass part. And again, I pulled up a preset just to see what it can do here. I picked up bass, Denise, Opto. So you're thinking Opto style compression is LA2A style slower compression. Here it is without the processing. And with. So it just really controls the signal more than anything else. We're not really changing the tone so much. We're sucking out a little bit of some of that tone, but really it's controlling the dynamics. Everything's more level. I could push the drive up a little bit if I wanted to. As you saturate it more, you drop some levels, so you'd have to make up the gain back there for it. So really nice control there. Next, we're going to listen to it on a guitar part, and I already messed with the processing here. What I really want to do here in this guitar part is control the dynamics. So here it is without the processing, no compression. Punchy, but it does have a little bit of dynamic issue. So if I bring in the compressor here, I'm sucking out that bottom end, I'm pushing that upper mid-range to control it more. Remember, this is driving into the compression, driving top end and upper mid-range into the compressor. Listen to those stabby punches, they're a lot more controlled. Here it is without. And with. I'll move the mix knob as it plays. Just nice control on it. And the final source we're going to check it out on is a vocal here. And I wanted to really control the upper mid-range of the vocal so you can see how much I pushed into that in the compressor. So I'm going to start with the bypass. Listen to the bite in the upper mid-range. It's a little bit much.
Make it till tomorrow on my half a heart. I won't die from sorrow.
And now with the compressor.
Make it till tomorrow on my half a heart. I won't die from sorrow.
So you're getting that upper mid-range still pushed into it, but controlled a little bit with that compression. So there it is, Dragonfire from Denise Audio. Just an overall really nice tool, unique look at compression with this push-pull graph and that push-pull slider, allowing you to shape what frequencies you're pushing into that compressor, bring those frequencies in or out of your final output signal, and pick whatever type of compression you want with these controls here, the knee, the RMS, the curve, and a little bit of the drive, from slow style LA2A compression to fast 1176 or VCA style compression. Just really, really unique tool here. So highly recommended. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.